The love letters that doomed a queen. Henry VIII's obsession with Anne Boleyn. Opening, this is a story that begins with love and ends in blood. She was not born to be queen. She was born to be forgotten. But Anne Boleyn refused to be forgotten. And Henry VIII couldn't forget her. The obsession begins. The Tudor court is buzzing. Anne Boleyn has returned from France, fluent in French, dressed in continental fashion, and unlike any woman Henry VIII has ever seen. She's not the fairest, not the richest, but she's magnetic. Henry writes her 17 letters. Not through a scribe, not through a messenger. In his own trembling hand. "I beseech you to give me a reply to my last letter," he writes. "For without it I cannot sleep." And does not reply. Not immediately. She plays the game of courtly love with precision. She will not be a mistress. She will not be another Bessie Blunt. "I will give my maidenhead only to my husband," she says. And Henry, King of England, bends. The rise to power, Anne's refusal becomes her weapon. Henry begins to dream not of her body, but of her crown. He petitions the Pope for a divorce from Catherine of Aragon. 6 years of letters. 6 years of theological debates. 6 years of unwaiting. And then he breaks England apart. The Church of England is born. Anne becomes queen. She is pregnant, hopeful, crowned on the cosmety pavement of Westminster Abbey. But the child is a girl, Elizabeth. Henry is disappointed, but still in love. Now, the turning point. A year of omens. Catherine of Aragon dies. Henry falls from his horse, unconscious for 2 hours, and miscarries. The child was a boy. Henry begins to change. The letters that once begged for Anne's love now become silent. His gaze shifts to Jane Seymour. Anne is no longer the enchantress. She is the obstacle. The false charges of adultery, incest, treason, her own brother, her closest allies. The court that once whispered of her beauty now screams for her blood. May 19, 1536. Tower of London. Anne Boleyn kneels. "I am innocent," she says. "But I submit to the king's will." The sword falls. The queen who once held England's future in her womb is buried in an old elm box. Legacy, but history has a cruel sense of irony. The daughter Henry dismissed, Elizabeth, becomes one of England's greatest monarchs. And Anne. Her face was erased. Her portraits destroyed. Her name blackened. But her letters remain. And inside them we see a woman who dared to love, dared to rise, and dared to rule. A woman who was doomed by the very obsession that made her queen.